Hello and welcome to a new video here on Boston United FM. You may have seen or you may not have, but something huge has recently been released by a Football Manager custom database creator by the name of the Mad Scientist. He has ported over, player by player, the database from Championship Manager 0102, a game that many people still play almost 20 years after release, and is touted as one of the best football management sims ever. In fact, I have a Champ Manager 0102 series on this channel, which I really do need to get back to finishing off. Naturally, I am managing Boston United, starting off in the conference. However, in this video, I will give you a quick run through of getting a save game started on this new database. Then we'll look at a 5-year simulation to see what happens. I've added all the necessary links for this custom database into the description, which is available via Steam Workshop or a manual download. If you do manually download it, put the FMF file into your editor data folder. If you're not sure where you find this, it's usually in your Documents folder on your computer, then Sports Interactive, and then finally Football Manager 2021. Once you have the file downloaded and ready to use, start a new career game. On the career game setup screen, you have the most important step of all. Ensure you select the original game database from the release of FM21 under Database in the top right. Then, you need to only select the new custom database file from the list of editor data files on screen. Click Remove All if you have a lot of files on show. Find the 2001-02 database and tick the box next to it. Click Confirm, then Advanced Setup. The game will then load the database ready for you to choose where you wish to manage. At the moment, the available leagues are England, Italy and Spain for 2 levels, plus France, Germany and Scotland, just their top tiers only. We'll remove most of the default selection of leagues. We'll make sure we're only going for First Division and above. First Division in 0102 is now called the Championship. We need to go to Add Remove Leagues, and we need to add in France, Germany, Italy, Scotland and Spain. We'll click Confirm. And now we just need to make sure we limit ourselves to the relevant tiers. So we can only go for Liga. We'll go for the Bundesliga. Serie B is absolutely fine. For the Scottish League, it's Premiership only. And then Spain has already selected the top 2 tiers. Choose whichever advanced options you prefer at the bottom. But as we're doing a holiday experiment, I'm going to disable player attribute masking. But you might wish to keep this on to keep yourself challenged in the game. Select your player count, top right, small, medium or large. However, I don't think this has too much effect on this database as there is a limited player pool involved. Choose your game start date in the bottom right. I'm going to go for early pre-season in England and then click Start Game. After the game has fully loaded what it needs to, you can then select your manager profile as normal, but you could go fully retro and create a new profile based on a manager in the database, such as Sven-Göran Eriksson. You can then choose your team to manage. If you look at the list in the Premier League, you can see teams like Ipswich Town, Derby County, Charlton, Bolton, clubs that were in the top tier at the time, but aren't at the moment. But as this is going to be a holidaying save simulation, we're just going to start unemployed. And start playing.
Many months later.
5 years holiday simulation has been processed on this new custom retro database, and where better to start than to see who has won the English Premier League over the 5 seasons. And I don't think it's too much of a surprise to see Manchester United winning the first four, making it 7 years in a row. Chelsea and Liverpool finished second twice each, and it was then Liverpool who overhauled Manchester United in the final season. It was incredibly tight at the top last season, with the Scousers clinching it by a point ahead of both Manchester United and Chelsea. Now let's go back and have a look at the title winning margins for Man United over the previous seasons. 3 points from Chelsea in what looked like a four-horse race in this one. Before that, a huge 99 points from Manchester United, 12 ahead of Liverpool, with Arsenal a couple more points behind them. But I have noticed that Ipswich Town got into Europe this season, finishing sixth. There was drama in this season as United finished ahead of Liverpool by only goal difference. But the big shock seems to be Walsall being in the Premier League that season. Then they got relegated along with Spurs. And in the very first simulated campaign, which is essentially season 01-02, it was a 10-point margin by which Manchester United won the league. Arsenal won the title in real life, ahead of Liverpool and then Manchester United. Bolton Wanderers, Southampton and Charlton Athletic were relegated, all of whom actually stayed up in real life. Man United hotshot Ruud van Nistelrooy finished as the Golden Boot winner for 3 of the 5 seasons, with Chelsea's Matesha Kesman taking the other 2. A good indication of the top players in the division is to have a look at the season preview. Man United are favourites to regain their title and have a couple of players in the Dream 11. They've just signed Francesco Totti, as it shows at the bottom, for an initial £28 million from Roma, and he's now showing as the best player in the league. Not far behind him is Paraguayan striker Roque Santa Cruz. Other signings in the best 11 are goalkeeper Sebastian Frey of Liverpool. Real Madrid legend Raul is now playing for Chelsea, and Gianluca Zambrotta is at Arsenal from Juventus via Real Madrid. Brazilian midfielder Kaká is showing as Liverpool's second best player, behind Harry Kewell, who has actually made his real-life move in-game, having started at Leeds United. If we have a quick look at Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, we can see he is seemingly sticking to a 4-4-2 attack-minded formation. A young Claudio Bravo is the goalkeeper, with Gary Neville partnering Olaf Melberg at the back. The midfield four looks stunning, with Giggs and Beckham out wide, and Argentinian duo Esteban Cambiaso and Juan Sebastian Veron in the middle. Darren Fletcher is still hanging around and has been joined by Wayne Bridge, Xavi and Stuart Downing. Fabian Barthez is still in the squad, but he'll be in his mid-30s by now. Phil Jagielka is also at the club, as is striker Hugo Rodallega. Looking down the list of stadiums, only Arsenal have built a new one in the game, as they did in real life, moving out of Highbury into the Emirates. In this world, they have named it the Herbert Chapman Arena after their legendary manager. Manchester City are still at Main Road and of course do not have their Abu Dhabi funding. Arsenal are still managed by Arsene Wenger. Gianluca Vialli is at Villa. Chelsea haven't sacked Claudio Ranieri. And Gerard Houllier has continued his reign at Liverpool for all 5 seasons. Of course, Sir Alex Ferguson is still managing Manchester United. And his nemesis Kevin Keegan has been in the hot seat at Manchester City throughout all 5 seasons. Eddie Howe now manages Sunderland. Let's take a look at how England have fared, initially at least under Sven-Göran Eriksson. Of course, the UEFA Nations League is in FM21, so this is effectively introduced a couple of decades early to the national side. The European Championships occurred at the end of the first season, and England disappointingly were knocked out of the second round by Poland. They also lost to Wales in the group stages, getting through with wins over Czech Republic and Ukraine. The World Cup qualifiers look to be going well, though. Another Nations League campaign filled the year, which then ended with the World Cup in Qatar. After a perfect group stage beating Canada, Italy, and Japan, the latter by 7 goals to 0, the Three Lions were again knocked out in a second round tie, this time on penalties to Turkey. England then went through the next calendar year looking to qualify for the Euros and only conceded 1 goal, winning every match. Those Euros then took place, and again England got out of their group. Denmark, Croatia, and Norway all beaten. Then an extra time win over Holland set up a rematch with Poland in the quarter-finals. The Poles were dispatched 4-2, setting up a semi-final with old foes Germany. History unfortunately repeated itself from Euro 96 as the Germans progressed on penalties after a 1-1 draw. The 5 seasons have been rounded off with England making the finals tournament of the Nations League, but ultimately finishing third, gaining a tiny amount of revenge over Germany. Sven was actually sacked just a year into the simulation, which means he was relieved of his duties after the loss to Poland in the Euros. The bald eagle himself, former Boston United player-manager Jim Smith, he took over, having left Derby County. He's still in the job now after almost 4 years at the age of 65. Checking out the latest England tactics, it seems that Jim Smith prefers a 3-5-2 formation, with a back three of Titus Bramble, Wes Brown and Sol Campbell. Stephen Bywater is the goalkeeper, with Rob Green in reserve. The other surprising names are David Dunn, Darren Bent and Michael Bridges. There are no new gens in the squad, so it would seem there might be a lack of talent coming through. As a final checkup, we'll take a look at the winners of the UEFA Champions League, and we can see that, as with the Premier League, it's only been won by 2 clubs. And again, one of those is Manchester United. Juventus won the first couple, beating Italian rivals Roma and Inter in the finals, as Man United then beat Roma too the following year. Real Madrid lost the last 2 finals against United, then Juve, the first at Wembley, but the second at the home of their deadly rivals, Barcelona. If you'd like a second episode of this, looking into the other leagues that were loaded, such as the Bundesliga or La Liga, please let me know in the comments. We can also go another 5 years into the future, looking at England, if the demand is there, to see if it's still a Manchester United-dominated Premier League, with Ruud van Nistelrooy maybe continuing to bang in the goals, especially now he's got Francesco Totti behind him. Is Jim Smith the right man to lead England to glory? Neither he nor Sven could bring football home. Did you notice anything interesting that I missed? Please comment below. But if you've enjoyed the content of this episode, please don't forget to leave a like. And for more videos, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.